The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Live from San Diego, the fight for our country is here and now. With Robert, Justin, and Jason on Long Live America.
Now I'd like to welcome our guest. He's a Harvard PhD, New York Times bestselling author on multiple occasions, author of Where's the Birth Certificate, Unfit for Command, The Swift Boats Veterans Speak Out, The Obama Nation. He's bipartisan in his quest for truth. He's attacked both political sides. He's one of the geniuses of our time, yet he's slandered and maligned constantly by Obama operatives who they can't contest him on any factual level. So like we said, he's incessantly just picked on by those pigs and snakes on the left that they've lost to him already, so they've already conceded indirectly. The man who's been entirely blacked out by our media, including Fox News. I sincerely want to thank Captain America himself for joining us on Long Live America. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Corsi.
Robert, it's great to be with you. Thank you.
You know, Dr. Corsi, my brother actually titled you that, Jason here. I can't really take credit for it, but you are Captain America. You realize that you're fighting the socialist imperial forces of today, just like Captain America was yesteryear. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. So, Dr. Corsi, man, I'm looking at an overwhelming list of evidence here against the new fake Obama birth certificate, including kerning, anti-aliasing, the missing state seal, the Nordyke twins birth certificate number comparison, the obvious augmented multi-layering, and for getting to flatten the document, no sign of Obama's Indonesian adoption, which should be indicated on the birth certificate, inconsistencies in aliasing, bit mapping, variable face type differences from a single typewriter key, differences in text colors and fonts, the spelling error on the stamp at the base of the certificate, the smiley face on the Alvin, the African, that wasn't even a race then, the UKLE initials, which are made to say ukulele, is a joke from the local registrar, the inconsistencies in the background patterns, the bowing of the pages and left margin inconsistencies. I mean, there's even background. Why is there even a background pattern? There's so much evidence here, Dr. Corsi. This is obviously a fake. There's a preponderance of things clearly showing it's a fraud. I'm just curious, of all the things I just listed, I'm just trying to save you time, which are the clear-cut 100% proofs that it has to be a fraud? What are the most egregious mistakes that the forgers made?
Well, there are so many. I guess I like the smiley face on the A of L. I mean, here you've got the White House releasing one of the most, historically important documents that could be in modern era, and they've got the registrar stamp and the A of Alvin Onaka's signature, and it's got a smiley face in it. Now, I mean, somebody must have looked at that and said, now, wait a minute, couldn't we do this over again? Who's going to release this? That I think is one of the most ridiculous evidences of a forgery. But there are so many others. I mean, when people open this in any Adobe software, Acrobat, and they see the layers in the document right away, that's got to be evidence that there's forgery here. And then it's not I've written recent articles saying, it's not the optical character recognition or optimization that causes these layers. I mean, you can click on the registrar stamp, the date stamp, and the text and the signature stamp, and you can move them anywhere in the document. Put them in the middle of the document. You can move the text around. I mean, the whole thing is just a joke.
Yeah, I agree. Dr. Corsi, isn't his mother's mathematically perfect signature exactly 1 pixel above the signature line throughout the duration signature? Isn't that 100% conclusive proof that
it is to me?
It's all so obvious.
Yeah, and America. Yeah.
I mean, you take the D off of the Dunham, and all the rest is a perfect flat line. It's all within 1 pixel deviation. I mean, this is a mathematically done drawing of the rest of the name. It has pasted into the document. It's so clear. And of course the number of the certificate being out of order, The fact that Kapiolani Hospital has not released any records showing that Ann Dunham was ever a patient. The doctor, Dr. Sinclair, is dead. Of course, we don't have his patient records to show that Ann Dunham was ever a patient. It's absurd. If this had been George W. Bush, I think the New York Times would have hired 50 people, and they'd have been all over this every day for weeks and weeks and weeks until George W. Bush was drummed out of office. Because it's Barack Obama, he's protected. We don't want to drum out of office the first African American president because he was a liar, because he forged a birth certificate, and it's just a clear double standard.
Yeah, I see. In fact, Dr. Corsi, kerning and anti-aliasing, those are all processes, computers that could never take place on a 1961 typewriter. I mean, the missing state seal, the Nordyke twins. I would say those are all 100% conclusive proofs that this is an obvious fraud birth certificate. Those themselves are 100% proofs, are they not?
I would say so. I mean, the kerning, the letters too close together, the no seal on the document except when you go through filters, you can see kind of a hazy seal that's there on the birth certificate. Look, if the White House, just to get down to the most simple issue, if the White House had really wanted to be truthful, in a court of law, the best evidence of the birth certificate is not a PDF file of the birth certificate. It's the original that's in the vault of the Hawaii Department of Health. And if the White House had really had something here that was honest and true, they would have released that document and submitted it immediately to independent forensic testing. The fact that it's still under seal indicates the cover-up is continuing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think this is where Orly Tates, I'm hopeful on Monday, with a subpoena, can get in and see what there is on record in the Department of Health. I'm sure it's not anything at all that looks like or represents the birth certificate that was released, because what we have is a PDF file. Well, in 1961, there weren't computers. There wasn't a PDF file. And this is not a simple scan.
Mm-hmm.
It's pathetic, actually.
Dr. Corsi, how have the OBOTs recently lied about using OCR software, which is optical character recognition, to explain all the terrible forgery errors in the new birth certificate?
Well, first of all, if there was optical character recognition software used, what that does is it reads the letters and the words on a document and puts them into a format that can then be manipulated in a word processing software. So it would generate a find table. It would generate a table of the words that could then be manipulated. Well, there's no find table in the PDF the White House released. So it was not run through OCR software.
Oh, I see. Can a single computer scan possibly produce the effects noticed on the Obama birth certificate? I mean, how is it created?
Well, what's I think obvious is whoever created this document was working from 2 or 3 templates. Clearly, one was a Nordyke twins document. We've demonstrated this in WorldNet Daily in the articles we've written. I've got evidence, too. It came from the Blaine document, which was a falsified birth certificate. And what the forger did was took components of these various birth certificates and cut and paste and put them together in an electronic file that is the PDF. That's the file that was used to create the birth certificate. And from that PDF file is when the Xeroxes were created that were handed out at the White House press conference. It is not a scan of an original document because a scan doesn't have those characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious it's not a scan of an original document. I mean, if you scan a document, the security background comes right up to the letters. There's not this white haloing effect around the letters. That clearly indicates the letters were dropped into as a layer into a manipulated document. Whoever did it didn't know enough to go back and replace the pixels to make it clear there wasn't a drop-in of the text.
Wow.
Yeah, geez. That's horrible.
Yeah, Dr. Ward, isn't Obama paying disgraced ex-Fannie Mae CEO James Johnson to run a smear campaign against you and anyone else who pretty much questions Obama?
Well, this is what I've demonstrated again from the Obats, these radical. I've been writing a series of exposés. I'll continue doing it. But they've all bragged that it was Jim Johnson, who was from the White House, who was, of course, the disgraced Fannie Mae head, running a disinformation campaign where, the entire intent was to take anybody who objected to the Obama birth certificate and disgrace them, ridicule them. And the Obats, these Obama robots, had bragged about this for 2 years. Well, when I reported it, they all said, oh, no, it isn't really James Johnson. But the more I research it, it's very clear this is a high-level operation that comes out of the White House. And James Johnson, who's an operative for the Democratic Party, has been involved in conducting this entire disinformation campaign. And look, I've been printing this now. I've had it in print for well over 2 weeks, and the White House and James Johnson have never once said it's a lie or it's not true.
They can't contest you.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Corsi.
If somebody wrote that about me, the first thing I would say is not true.
Of course, this clearly reflects Obama's dubious nature. I mean, what a nefarious, underhanded, almost evil person. Look, he just takes out his wrath, on anybody. And of course, it goes without even notice in our leftist media. But we just want to show that Obama's not some nice, gracious person. Like I said, this is a low-down person, and, his character is clearly a shady one.
Well, just take a look go on foxbow.com and read the posts. I mean, these people are disgusting in their language. They think they're smarter than anybody, these Obats, that they can forge birth certificates and promote forged documents. They can lie. They can intervene in legal processes like with Orly Tates or with Lieutenant Colonel Lakin, the Army commander who did not deploy to Afghanistan because he wanted to question the eligibility of President Obama.
Oh, no, we're big fans of Terry Lake, and in fact, we interviewed him on this show. We were very proud to represent him as well in this horrible fraud that's taking place.
Well, and I'm glad you're doing that because the Obats, intervene in all this. They think it's like they think they're smarter than anybody. They have a new morality. They can lie, cheat, punk everybody, put out fake documents and say, well, these are real just to make you believe in them, and they say, look at how stupid you are. Look, these are borderline crimes. They ought to be investigated.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we saw from your Facebook updates and also from the WorldNet Daily, the screen captions of them doing this is actually like a degenerate think tank. They all get together and conspire how to go against you directly. So.
And they work together. I mean, they say, well, we should go to, Con Web Watch, or should we expose it over here? They work together hand in hand with the Soros-funded organizations. And it's a campaign. It's a disinformation campaign. And that's, I think, what the American people have to realize, is that the defense of Obama is being done by a group of people, foul language, no morals in terms of thinking that lying is wrong or that promoting documents that are forged, clearly forged, is wrong. I mean, these people do anything they can to try to ridicule anybody who dares question the eligibility of Obama. And if you've got a paid disinformation campaign run out of the White House, I think over time this is going to come to be one of the major scandals in American history.
We agree.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Corsi, are there any updates as to the criminal charges you have filed with the FBI against Obama, or are they just stonewalling this as hard as they possibly can?
Well, I think, Eric Holder running the FBI and the Department of Justice is not going to – this is the most political FBI I've ever seen in my life. And, it's okay that they run guns to Mexico and, dealing cocaine with Mexican drug cartels. That's all okay.
Yeah, it's horrible.
No, in fact,
But you dare bring a charge and say, look, these guys are the Obats are intervening in Terry Lakin's criminal trial. They're trying to manipulate the trial to stack the deck against Terry Lakin. And this involvement in a legal trial is a pretty serious business if you're not a lawyer or part of the trial proceedings. I mean, the articles are going to come out next few days naming people like Frank Arduini and Dwight Sullivan and other people, who have been involved in this.
Oh, my
And the idea that is, we'll just forget about all that because this is supporting President Obama. Well, this is where Eric Holder, I think, is going to himself should face criminal charges for running a political FBI. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, of course.
Dr. Corsi, the FBI is supposed to stand for justice, but they clearly do not. All they seem to do is stand for, in recent years, with Waco, Ruby Ridge, and Project Gunrunner, more recently as the cover-ups. Is this our own government betraying us? And is the FBI going to great lengths to stonewall you and cover this up?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
I think
horrible.
Most Americans are taking a close look at the FBI. And look, I grew up with the Efren Zimbalist Jr. and the FBI as heroes. The FBI has become a political law enforcement agency. So if you're a Black Panther, do whatever you want to do. Rig elections, intimidate voters, you're not going to be charged. If you're Acorn, forget about it. You're not going to be charged for, again, voter fraud or any other kinds of intimidation you do to ruin programs like Medicare or any other program. But dare you challenge Obama's eligibility, show that, people like this Frank Arduini or this Dwight Smith or this Bill Bryant, all these OBOTs, they try to hide behind avatars. I say they hide behind chicken heads, to say that they don't want anybody to know their identity. Well, the FBI ought to get in and investigate all these people and find out what they've done, and if there's crimes committed, prosecute them. But Eric Holder's not going to do it.
Now, of course, everything's highly racially tinged with Obama. He clearly favors blacks over whites, hates whites, even according to his fake autobiography, which you exposed. Everything about him is far leftist. The favorite groups are Muslims and homosexuals, anything anti-Christian. Now, he's one of the most sinister and vindictive men I've ever seen in my life. Everything we know nothing about him still to this day. None of his records have been exposed. It's the biggest fraud ever to take place in American history. Then we have an FBI, which apparently is behaving as a criminal organization. They're just protecting him no matter what happens, and the whole process seems rigged. This is all a disgrace. And I don't even know what else to say about it, Dr. Corsi, but what is our own government? What have they done to prevent this case from being examined in your mind? Are they rigging it with the judges and the politicians involved? I mean, it's beyond coincidence that literally no court will examine it, and all the cases are dismissed by Elena Kagan. Do you think that the judges are just being paid off? What's your take on it?
Well, they're playing on the fact that judges don't like to settle political questions, and they know they've got that in their favor. But look, you had Robert Bauer from Perkins Coie. Obama spent about $2 million with him, protecting on these eligibility suits, not releasing any records. Of course, before they released the birth certificate to try to prevent my book from being published. And then Robert Bauer's brought inside the White House. Obama signs an executive order. Robert Bauer can represent Obama on eligibility cases, even though he's White House counsel. And I still maintain that Robert Bauer finally realized he was being lied to when he saw the fake birth certificate, and that's why Robert Bauer resigned.
Of course.
John Dean moment. So,
Yeah.
and this is going to come crashing down against Obama at some point or other. At some point or other, this house of lies. When I wrote The Obama Nation in 2008, I tried to convince people, look, this is a radical socialist and not a communist. Frank Marshall Davis was his mentor. Bill Ayers was not some guy in his neighborhood where their kids went to school. They knew each other since Columbia. They worked on foundations together. Barack Obama lies. Didn't know Rezko. Didn't know Blagojevich. Well, there's photographs with these guys together over and over and over again. Obama was part of the whole Chicago gang. He's got deeply involved in all the criminal activities. Even his home purchase is still suspect. And all of these issues, because, first black president, they ignore all this stuff. in the mainstream media because they politically want to promote Barack Obama. Well, I think it's all crashing down around Barack Obama right now. And Barack Obama knows he's lying. Barack Obama knows I'm one disclosure away from completely disgracing him. I don't think Barack Obama is going to run for president again. I don't think he's going to take the risk that I'll produce the next document which will completely show him to have been a fraud from the beginning.
Yes. Wow. No.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Corsi, after Sean Hannity canceled his interview with you, it's become apparent that there's like a media blackout on you. Will any major media TV station interview you now? I mean, including Fox News, or how has Fox News treated you?
Probably not. I'm probably going to be completely blackballed on this issue because the mainstream media doesn't want to cover it. But, you know, when it becomes clear to the American people that Barack Obama's lied on his birth certificate and lied about who he is, I mean, we get one document. We show that Barack Obama was educated in Moscow and his first years at Columbia was a KGB recruit.
Whoa.
We get one document that shows that Barack Obama was in fact born in Kenya. Get one document that shows he was adopted in Indonesia. And this house of cards comes crumbling down. Well, the American people are not only going to reject Barack Obama, they're going to reject Fox News.
Of course. I've been suspect of them for a while now, and unfortunately they're the only outlet that even leans remotely to the right, so I'm almost indirectly forced to watch. I'm so sorry that a lot of these conservative so-called talk radio hosts are backstabbers like Medved did to you. Or even in here, it wasn't San Diego. I don't know if anybody's interviewed you here, but I don't believe so. And it shouldn't take courage just for you to be able to give an answer to an honest question, which has been highly suspect since day one, as you've mentioned. And what a disgrace it is that the media is treating you this way. I can't. Wow, this is my honest thoughts. So, Dr. Corsi, where's the birth certificate? One of your bestsellers. It contains such a great wealth of information. Everyone should read it and understand just the tremendous links Obama's gone to cover all of this up, all of his records, including passport records, scholarship records, school, adoption, baptismal, etc. I mean, you addressed a very important concept there of being a natural-born citizen. By legal definition, a natural-born citizen is born on American soil of two American citizen parents at the time, correct?
Correct.
So even by his own accord, this new fake birth certificate, by definition, he is not a natural-born citizen. Wasn't even defined in 1875 in the court case Minor versus Happersett?
1874, that's correct.
1874. It's even been defined in court, and you have these congressmen nowadays. He's a natural-born citizen.
Well, it was a standard applied to John McCain, Senate Resolution 511. Barack Obama co-sponsored that resolution, refused to present his own birth credentials to the Senate on eligibility to be president because he knew he didn't have two U.S. citizens who were his parents when he was born.
Wow.
You even make a fake, and it's still not a natural-born
it's
citizen.
Which means he doesn't even know the law.
It's pathetic. I mean, Barack Obama should never have been allowed to run for president.
No, but today's his birthday. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, we
Quite
don't
possibly,
We don't
as
believe
Rush
his
alluded
birthday at
to,
all.
yeah.
Yeah. What proof do we have this is?
No, there's none.
A cake with candles.
Which satisfies the Department of Justice, apparently.
Even Barack Obama's had other days he said were his birthday.
Well, the
It's
cake's
horrible.
half chocolate, half vanilla, so it's okay.
Yeah, everything's okay because he's black, and there's no questioning it because, like we said, everything is highly racially tinged. Ultimate New World Order card. Wow, a CIA operative, possibly in Moscow. That's, oh my goodness, I'm just learning as this whole process endures.
There's going to be more disclosures on Obama. When it's finished, the American people are going to realize that they put in the presidency somebody they had no idea who he was. And Barack Obama is not serving the interests of the United States of America.
We agree. Dr. Corsi, a little change here. The WorldNet Daily Cruise taking an Alaskan cruise where you can meet yourself, Dr. Corsi, Joseph Farah, Alan Keyes, and many WorldNet Daily others from August 26th through the September 2nd of this year. Can you give us a little information on that?
Right. You can see the cruise at worldnetdaily.com, WND.com.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a great cruise. This is the fourth time we've done it. I always spend time with all the people. I have lunches with them. I spend a lot of time with all the people, get to know them, let them ask me whatever questions they want to ask me. I mean, it's a real hands-on kind of trip. And we've come away with great friends, with people who continue to email me 4 years later, and really understand what we're doing and get to, have a direct experience with the WorldNet Daily staff. I can't recommend it more. I have a great time, and it's great for me to listen to the readers and the questions. And I'm really looking forward to it this year. Be up in Alaska. It's going to be a great trip. And WND.com, WorldNet Daily, will give you all the details of how to get on the Alaska cruise.
Oh, my goodness. You'll be sitting there drinking martinis and raiding the buffet breakfast and giving Dr. Corsi high fives. Oh, man.
Yeah, and learning about our fraud in chief.
Late night in the back of the ship. I really do, though, take every lunch and have it with a small group of people.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Every day. And we, I take a couple hours every day and answer all their questions. No agenda. Just, maybe 10, 15 people at most at the lunches, and really get to know everybody on the cruise on a first-name basis.
That's extremely nice of you.
Well, it's not all that altruistic. I enjoy it, too. I want to know what the people are thinking.
Sure. Dr. Corsi, what do you expect the Hawaiian government to do when Orly Tates, Paul Irie, and everyone goes to subpoena the original birth certificate on August 8th next week?
Well, they're probably going to stonewall and probably not going to deliver. But we've gotten I've also been working behind the scenes to get some really powerful Hawaiian counsel to buttress Orly Tates. And if the Hawaiian government thinks they're going to get away with stonewalling this, they've got a bad mistake they're making. It's not the last effort, it's the first effort. And eventually the Hawaiian government's going to have to deliver. We're not going to stop on this until we get the truth.
No,
Gotcha.
of course. In fact, Dr. Corsi, just to speculate on another issue. So what is the deal going on now? We know he obviously has used the fake Connecticut Social Security number 042684425, and he has apparently a forged selective service registration form as well. Is that correct?
Yes, that's also correct. The one on the Social Security number is really important because now we have verification from the Social Security Administration. That number was not issued to Barack Obama. Hollister got that. And we know for a fact that it was issued to someone in Connecticut, not Barack Obama. And it's a identity theft issue. Barack Obama is using someone else's Social Security number. And his father was never in Connecticut to get that number. When Bill O'Reilly said that, it was just an outright lie.
Yeah, no, that's right. O'Reilly, they claim that, and then he instantly purged and scrubbed the Fox News website immediately after.
The Fox website.
And you can still find it on YouTube, his clip,
So
actually.
Fox News is complicit in this. What a disgrace. It's an absolute travesty. They're so-called right-wing. And you would think even one member of Congress would not only have the patriotism, but the sheer audacity just to question this. Maybe might want to win an election, maybe stand for truth and justice or something. But
Have the patriotism.
So they're just all part of the game is what it seems, right, Dr. Corsi?
It's coming around, though. I would say that within 6 months, you're going to see a whole different situation with the American people realizing, especially with the economy deteriorating, Barack Obama doesn't have a clue what he's doing. They're going to start asking, who is this guy? And when they do, the eligibility issues are going to come forefront again.
Mm-hmm. Have any members of Congress, have you been in touch with any, or have they been in touch with you?
There's a big group right now taking my articles. They published them in a very nice book. They're down visiting congressmen today. They'll be there again tomorrow. They're meeting top prominent Congress men and women and their staffs, showing them this evidence. I mean, this is not going away.
Good.
The eligibility issue is by no means done.
Wonderful, because I just want to be sure that some members of Congress, as sure as FBI is sitting there listening to this, that it will come back on you.
It's coming back.
Good. That's wonderful to know, because at times, I don't know, not that I need any congressperson's name, but it's just very reassuring to hear that, as if there's some semblance of justice.
They're being visited today, all day today, and tomorrow. I'll be writing this group of military veterans who are coming out asking for a congressional investigation. This is by no means done.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, Dr. Corsi, so I'm looking at names here that support you: computer experts, graphics experts, Mara Zabest, Paul Denninger, Ivan Zatkovich, Doug Vaught, Paul Ivy, some myriad of other experts, people all over YouTube and Adobe experts everywhere. They've all concluded that the new Obama birth certificate, it's an absolute fraud. What do you think it will take to expose Obama as the fraud that we all know he is?
Well, I think it's happening. I mean, it's going to take a little bit more time and take another major break of one kind or another, but it's going to happen. Donald Trump pushed it to the top of the agenda. One comment from Sarah Palin, or Herman Cain, or any of the candidates will put it at the top of the agenda right again. This is a very volatile issue for Obama. Obama himself knows he lied. He knows that he was not born in the United States. Obama knows the birth certificate's a fraud. He's going to have to go into the election, so are the Democrats, knowing that any time between now and November 2012, any one piece of information could torpedo the entire Democratic Party.
I see. Dr. Corsi, just a quick question. The Bilderbergers, Trilaterals, the CFR, these multinational supergroups, is Obama just their puppet, or what role do they play in this?
Well, they played a very major part. And as I'm saying, I think Barack Obama really is not qualified to do the job. He's way above his head. What if it turns out he was educated in Moscow, like Reverend Manning has been maintaining? I'm increasingly thinking there's evidence behind that.
Yeah. In fact, Wayne Madsen, we interviewed him a couple weeks back. Yeah. He's an excellent investigator, and he had mentioned Obama possibly being some sort of a Russian operative or KGB or whatever it was. I'm sorry, CIA operative, excuse me. I made an error there.
Either one. I mean, maybe both. I mean, they worked together many times. But the point is, if Obama was in Russia and educated in Russia, he's never told anybody he traveled to Russia, what would that one piece of information do to Obama's credibility?
Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. So we have a man here that we still, to this day, know absolutely
don't know
nothing about.
Nothing.
And people like him because he's black, and it's only claiming it was post-racial going into this. What a joke. Things have never been more racially heightened than they are now. I mean, the U.S. is falling apart on every single facet imaginable, and somehow it's all okay because it's a racial situation, and the race card's been played to its max.
Well, I think at some point or other, the American people are going to get tired of that. And the issue is, how are you going to take down the first black president? Of course, is Barack Obama black, or is he mixed? His mother was white.
That's a weird
race. Beyond the race issue,
sure,
and that's the issue that most people are afraid of touching. The fact is, once it's clear he lied, he misrepresented who he is, lied about the birth certificate, wasn't born in Hawaii, maybe he was educated in Russia. We don't know all the countries he's traveled to. I mean, any one of these pieces of information is devastating. And for the Democratic Party to roll the dice and go into 2012 with Obama as the candidate, when any one piece of information coming out can destroy the entire Democratic Party, I'm still waiting to see if the Democrats really want to roll those dice.
Dr. Corsi, where do you see mainstream media going forward from today? And what I mean that I mean television. I mean, if we're losing our credibility in Fox News, I mean, I preferably would rather watch Fox and MSNBC, but now it's to the point that I can't even trust television, and I love paying $180 a month for something that I can't trust. Where do you see TV going?
Well, I mean, I don't watch Bill O'Reilly anymore. I can't listen to O'Reilly. Even Sean Hannity is suspect to me.
Of course. When he canceled that interview with you, I remember him saying, the death of journalism was 2008. No, sir, Sean, it died in 2011, right when you canceled on Dr. Corsi is exactly when it died.
Day.
Yep.
That's the day the music stopped.
You can't even ask a question in this country anymore. Isn't that insane? Our news, they do no journalism. Fox News sure the hell doesn't do it. All the rest are highly leftist complicit, so they're all on the take.
It's talk radio and the Internet.
Sure.
And I think in 5 years from now, I'm not sure the American people will be turning in broadcast news.
Yeah, no,
I'm not sure. In 10 years from now, I'm not sure there will be books. They're going to be electronic.
Kindle.
Yeah, Dr. Corsi, we try desperately to keep up on your Facebook, which we love. That's probably the most exciting thing of our day. But there's a gentleman here named Dev Ananda Das who posted there's a book coming out who's a counter to your book actually, from a John Woodman.
Yeah, it's a complete OBOT book.
Yeah, that's what we noticed here. Also, we're trying to tell all our friends in San Diego and Orange County.
Yeah, don't get excited about it. It's a total OBOT book. It's going to be another lie job.
Exactly.
He's got videos out. You can see what he's about. Go to Dr. Conspiracy. This guy, Kevin Davidson, another Dr. Conspiracy. I don't know what he's a doctor of. He's a
Dr. Scholes.
Nothing at all.
Sure. He's as much doctor as Obama's birth certificate's real.
These guys, but he's another, this guy who did the book coming out is another OBOT. And I'm talking with Joseph Farah. Maybe we'll put out an electronic version of our own to update where's the birth certificate at the same time this Davidson's coming out with his book.
Perfect. Yeah, release it just before, how Trump and Obama conspired between the two to release his birth certificate just before your book came out to try to undermine you.
Look, I think electronic is the future because it's not. If Thomas Paine had the choice of producing a book or going on e-books, Thomas Paine would have gone e-books.
It's common sense.
He didn't need a published book.
Dr. Corsi, what makes me frustrated is somehow the mainstream media has managed to label everything a conspiracy theory and everyone's a kook. Anytime I hear a talk show host or a radio show host use those words, I know they're on the take. I know that they've been bought off. They're told, shut up, don't talk about this. The guy's right. So we can't address you in any factual manner. We have to dismiss you in a lump sum manner. And I don't know, it's such a shame that if any one major media station want to be watched on consecutive days, they would have you on all throughout the week. But none of them do. And it shows the incredible failure of the American media.
Well, I agree with you. There's millions of people, though, who are onto this, who are listening to you. And look, I'm doing some things. I had a good meeting today this week with HarperCollins. I'm going to do a couple of e-books in the future here.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I think they're going to dramatically change things.
We look forward to them.
I'm by no means finished with this fight. I don't care what they call me. Who cares? I couldn't care less.
Of course, men not half as honorable or as wise as yourself. Here you are, the Harvard PhD, and some loser dropout idiot trying to ridicule you. Irony abounds.
Don't call our president that, Rob.
I've got another advantage. I'm 65 years old. I don't really care.
No, of course.
What I care about, there's two things I care about. I care about the truth, and I care about the United States of America.
Yeah, no,
Perfect.
Amen.
Perfect.
Dr. Corsi, we have a lady that's been on the line forever waiting to speak with you. Would you like to take a call?
Sure.
Perfect. Long live America. You're on the air with Dr. Jerome Corsi.
Thank you. Dr. Corsi, can you shed any light on why both Obamas had to surrender their law licenses?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I called them up in Chicago, and of course they would say nothing, and it would meant nothing. I'm sure there are issues for both the Obamas. I'm sure Barack Obama, of course, lied on his law license, saying he never had an alias. And Michelle Obama, who had all kinds of scandals with money coming from the state legislature while Barack Obama was a state senator. Neither one of them are practicing lawyers. I think it's a disgrace. That's never been thoroughly investigated.
Well, I have a professional license, and the only way that any professional surrenders a license, to my knowledge, is they're given an ultimatum. Surrender it or you lose it. We're going to go to court.
Usually that's the case. But again, this is a typical Obama cop-out deal. Because you can't prove that, it's possible he said, well, I'm going to be in politics. I don't want to be bothered anymore. I don't believe that. I'm confident with both of them. There are issues there, and rather than face the issues, they just drop the licenses. It's highly suspect to me that neither one of them are practicing lawyers.
Okay.
Thank you for the information. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, well, let's just take another call.
Long live America. You're on the air with Dr. Jerome Corsi. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi there. You're on the air with Dr. Jerome Corsi.
Dr. Corsi, Steve Baldwin here.
Yes, hi, Steve.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, Jerry, it's an honor to have you on a local show right here. I'm sitting in my house listening to you speak, and I want to tell you that you're a great American for spending so much of your life tracking down the real story on Barack Obama and the incredible fraud this man has hoisted upon the American people. And very few people has done as much as you have to bring the facts to life about his identity and his birth and all the other mysterious things that we're just now finding out about.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, Steve. In fact, former Assemblyman Steve Baldwin here. Honored to have you on the show. Heck of a good dude. Friend of Long Live America. So, Steve, I don't know. We're just hoping that somebody between Congress, media, anybody, any Republican that might actually want to win an election actually just might bring this issue up.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, gosh, the more research you do, the more information comes out. We don't know anything about his birth. We don't know much about where he went to school. We know he lied about his Social Security number, which is now turning out to be a fake number. He lied about his parents. They never even lived together. I mean, every time anyone looks under the covers, we find a whole different scenario than what the official story was. And it's getting to the point where we don't even know who this guy is who's in the White House. We don't even know, we're not even sure what his real official name is. Mm-hmm. There's no documents even showing that a guy named Barack Obama ever changed his name back to Barack Obama. His real name, Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, it's probably still Barry Soetoro, right?
Or Barry Soetoro Soebarka. Remember, that was the name the mother, when she crossed out Barack Obama in her passport application from Indonesia, and Dunham indicated his last name was Soebarka.
That's phenomenal.
Jeez. Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone in the Obama family is a fraud so far.
Yeah, we don't know anything still. We just have guesses, and we know what he's not is legitimate. And so where do we go from here is the only thing I wonder.
Even the Immigration Naturalization Service did not believe Barack Obama Sr. was the father.
Wow.
Oh, it's a top-to-bottom cover-up. The whole government. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in. Man, Dr. Corsi, you know, you're the man who's led the charge in the pursuit of truth beyond all else. You're factually 100% correct. And without you and WorldNet Daily exposing the horrible lies coming out of our government with regards to Obama's eligibility, I mean, there would be no hope. There would be no case. Our government and media, they've never been more corrupt and complicit with one another than they are now. I mean, you are the intellectual warrior of our time. You have our deepest respect on Long Live America. I can't tell you what a tremendous honor it is to have you on the show.
Well, thank you. I'm 100% convinced the truth is going to out, and it's going to win. It's in the final analysis, I don't think God let the United States of America be created to be destroyed by a group of lying communists.
Yes. Thank you, Captain
Absolutely.
America, a.k.a. Dr. Jerome Corsi, man. God bless you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Corsi.
Dr.
There you
Corsi.
heard it, folks. There's the man of the hour, the man of the year, the man of the past couple of years, 760-931-1604.
Hey guys, you're listening to KCEO AM 1000 Vista, San Diego.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.